G'day everyone, today I'm down here at the Bellarine Railway for the Queenscliff Workshop Open Day for a rare look behind the scenes here and of course everything that goes into keeping this historical railway running. Across the weekend of November 15th and 16th, visitors could tour the workshops, view restoration projects up close, all a part of celebrating the people and stories behind this much loved heritage railway. The Bellarine Railway is a volunteer-run heritage line operating along 16 kilometres of former Victorian Railways branch line between Queenscliff and Drysdale. The line first opened in 1879, connecting Geelong with the important military port at Fort Queenscliff. After closing to regular traffic, the line was reborn in the 1970s, thanks to the hard work of the Geelong Steam Preservation Society. Today it's home to one of the most diverse collections of narrow gauge locomotives in the country, representing all four state government railways that once used the 3-foot 6-inch gauge, as well as several industrial engines. Alongside heritage services, the line hosts iconic experiences such as the Blues Train, the Polar Express, Day Out with Thomas and the Q Train, making it a true highlight of the Geelong and Bellarine region. The Open Weekend provided a rare opportunity to step behind the scenes at the Bellarine Railway. Visitors were able to explore the workshops, speak with volunteers and witness several major restoration projects currently underway, from detailed carriage restorations to the overhaul of historic locomotives. The event highlighted the dedication and craftsmanship that keep the railway's heritage alive. Inside the workshops there's no short of fascinating works underway. Among the projects are the Australian Standard Garratt G33, South Australian Carriage No. 19, undergoing full restoration, the Malcolm Moore Rail Tractor and Tasmanian B22 Evandale Carriage, both receiving attention from the team, plus the South Australian Guards Van GB489. Among the operating exhibits on display was Steam Crane No. 30, a historically significant machine with a story spanning more than a century. Built in 1912 by Thomas Smith & Sons of Rodley in the United Kingdom, it was one of 4 steam cranes supplied to the West Australian Government Railways for use as locomotive coaling cranes. After decades of service, the crane was sold by the WAGR in the mid-90s to the Geelong Steam Preservation Society and was transported to its new home on the Bellarine. A small team of volunteers undertook its restoration, returning the crane to steam between 2016 and 2018. So to find out more about the work going on here, I spoke with Chris Hibbles, the project lead here at the Bellarine Railway.
I'm Chris Hibbles. I'm the project manager on this exercise, and I started it back in 2014. And sometimes wish we hadn't, but it's going exceptionally well at the moment. So the plan is towards the end of next year we might have an operational locomotive, but don't hold me to that, please. Yeah, well, she was purchased by the Cement Works in 1946. There is a figure around, but I'm not sure over the moment. The bit of history at the locomotive, which we actually have found a little bit of history. She was going to go to Western Australia, nearly ready to go. The railways asked for it not to be, they needed some workshop space for their own locomotives, so 33 was stopped. Anyway, the war came in, things changed, and the engine basically sat at Newport. Now, the rumour was, and I've seen a document to say that it was going to go to Tasmania, being vacuum braked, but it didn't. Anyway, the Cement Works did a quick recce to Western Australia to see about whether these engines would be suitable for themselves, and they, in the end, they bought this one, converted it back from vacuum brake to Westinghouse, and arrived in Geelong in about late 1946. Went into service almost pretty quickly. Ran up there till about 1955, did the bulk of the work till the flat top T-class proved successful, and survived till the end. The whole collection survived till the end. And 66 was the last time this locomotive was steamed along with the other engines. So all 7 engines that were at Cement Works survived. They're all in our hands now. Just need a couple $100 million to rebuild them all. Now, what we've done, we've basically stripped the engine back down to ground level, and everything on it which we could remove has been removed. On the units, the tanks have remained, the wheels have been out, everything's been out, reconditioned, repaired, whatever we've had to do. It's been a massive rebuild from end to end, top to bottom, and it has been a substantial job. What we have achieved just recently, we have had the boiler registered. We have done our first stage hydrostatic registration. That's been done, and she's absolutely brilliant. I've never seen a boiler so nice and tight like this one was. Next stage now is to try and meet a deadline in October next year, which will be the 60th anniversary of this thing and the engines at the Cement Works last run. So we're going to try and have it operational. Maybe an operational boiler, but whether she's all together and ready to haul a train, don't know. It's still a lot of work to be done. Yeah. Other projects that we have in front of us at the moment is a carriage behind us is car 19 from 1887, the South Australian Railways. It came from the society bought it in the early 80s. It was off a property in Terang in South Australia, and it was in a pretty poor condition, and anyway, it's been moved over here, and we have actually started a full rebuild and repair of it, and it's under process now. And the other little project we have outside is a rail tractor which was built by Malcolm Moore, and it was here early days, but somewhere down the track somebody decided we didn't need it and gave it away, but we've got it back now, so we're in the process of reconditioning that and have that running. It's just part of the collection. We have a very huge volunteer base on a Tuesday, and people said, how's it come about? And I said, I really don't know. We have an average on every Tuesday day, which is our main workshop day, up to 20 volunteers working in the workshop on all different tasks. And we don't know what the success story is, why it happened, I can't tell you, but we try to make it very friendly, very sociable, but we don't lean on people that need to do this, you need to do this. We just take people on for what skills they've got, and we will nurture or develop them. But you need these people to do the jobs that you haven't got time to do. If they're on the wire brushes or the paint brushes or whatever the case may be, helping behind the scenes, it's all part of the big picture. You need to have these people. So our volunteer base on a Tuesday and Saturday is brilliant, and I can't give you an answer as to why.
Volunteering here at the Bellarine is a great way to learn new skills, meet new people, and help preserve our railway heritage. Whether you're maintaining track, restoring carriages, crewing trains, or serving in the kiosk, there is always something to do. So no matter your background or skill level, there's a place for you here. And if you'd like to get involved, head over to the Bellarine Railway website, or even drop in for a chat, as new volunteers are always welcome.
So it's incredible to see all the work that's going on here. And of course, stay tuned as I'll be back here around about Christmas time or a little bit after down at the Lakers siding to take a look at a few things that's happening down there. So a huge thanks to Chris and of course all the volunteers and members of the Bellarine Railway for having their open day and a little interview and, having a little look around. So if you've enjoyed this video, I will leave all the appropriate details and links in the description below. And of course, if you do want to see more of this kind of video, let me know in the comments below. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you again soon. Hooroo.